What's up guys, Luke here from LukeDeMarco.com today with a review for you of the Canon VIXIA HF200 Digital HD camcorder. I've had this camcorder for about a week now and I just want to give you guys my thoughts, impressions, and of course the full-on review of the VIXIA. So in this review, I'll be going into the detailed pros and cons of the camera, as well as a comparison to my previous camera, which was the Flip Minnow HD. Now, to start off with the Flip Minnow HD, it was a good camera. You know what? When I'm doing videos like this, the images were nice, but as soon as it turned dark, the frame rate dropped like crazy. As soon as I focused in on something, or maybe I was trying to do an iPod Touch review, the focus was absolutely dreadful on the Flip Minnow HD. So in terms of the Canon VIXIA, in those areas, to what I've tested them so far, it proves to be an amazing camera. Now, let's go over the cons first. The first con I found about this camera, and obviously I knew about this camera before I bought it, was the fact that it does not have a hard drive in it, and that the video records to an SD card. Now, you may be saying that's a good thing because you can swap SD cards, but SD cards are really expensive nowadays. A 16 gig SD card in Canada runs for about $89.99 from a top company like SanDisk, who makes memory cards. So it is pricey to actually get more storage from this, but it's also convenient. This is kind of like a pro-con. It's also convenient to be able to swap memory cards because you wouldn't be able to swap hard drives if you had a hard drive camera. So that's kind of like a pro-con. The second and final con that I want to talk about today, there's not a lot of cons, I actually really like this camera, is the fact that it is a very pricey investment, this camera. This camera will cost you $898 Canadian. I'm not sure what that is American. I think it's a little cheaper. And in terms of all the other dollars, I'm not familiar with the exchange rates, but just throw it through a currency converter. But it is definitely a pricey camera. But like the old saying goes, you get what you pay for, and you pay for amazing with this camera. Some of the pros I want to talk about today are, of course, the HDMI output, so that you can put HDMI out to, for instance, I have an HD TV over here, so I can watch full 1080p HD, because that's what this camera records in. It records in full 1080p HD. Another pro I found about this camera was the battery life. Now, Canon makes a lot of different cameras, but the battery life on the box here, it says that the battery life should last a maximum of 305 minutes and a minimum of 200 minutes, which is pretty good. Now, I haven't actually tested it to that extent, but I did film for a good school day at outside at my school's Terry Fox run, and the battery lasted me pretty nicely. Another pro about this camera is that it actually comes with this nice remote. Now, I've always wanted a remote because you see on YouTube everybody's zooming in and out with their cameras because they've got these nice little remotes, and the Canon VIXIA HF200 actually comes with this nice little remote. So you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can start and stop the recording, you can pause, play, you can do all that stuff with this neat little remote, which is pretty cool. Another pro I want to talk about is the focus. This has an awesome focus. It has 300 times digital zoom, 15 times optical zoom, and the focus is absolutely incredible at whatever range you are. For instance, as I mentioned before, the iPod Touch, just like the Flip Minnow HD, it would not, see, I'm trying to focus in on different things here. The Flip Minnow HD was terrible at focusing up close, and it would not actually display the iPod screen. But in terms of the Canon VIXIA, it has beautiful crisp 1080p HD at not a centimeter away from the lens, which is pretty awesome. Now, in terms of files and what this camera saves to, this camera saves files to an AVC HD file, which is, I'm not sure, I think it's audio video compressed HD, I'm not sure, but a pro about this camera, if you're using a Mac, is that iMovie HD or iMovie 09 will automatically recognize the AVC HD files and import them, which is good. And on Windows, I'm pretty sure that Sony Vegas imports them and recognizes them, which is cool as well. Now, in terms of the actual screen that comes on the camera, I believe it's a 3.5-inch TFT LCD screen. It's not touchscreen. The touch tone controls are actually right under the screen, and there's actually a dial pad right beside it for you to navigate the screen. Now there's also a microphone in, so you can use a boom mic, which is good because we have lots of boom mics all around the house here. I'm kidding, we actually don't, but yeah, this camera is actually going to be used at school more than anything else, and we have lots of boom mics at school. So guys, this has been Luke from LukeDeMarco.com with the more or less detailed review of the Canon VIXIA HF200. In terms of overall, would I recommend you buy this camera? Absolutely. I would never not recommend you buy this camera. This is a great camera. It's got awesome zoom, focus, remote. It's got beautiful, gorgeous 1080p HD video quality, and it's just, so far, it's absolutely fantastic. And it takes pictures too. As most video cameras do these days. But, so guys, this has been Luke from LukeDeMarco.com, reminding you to rate, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.